Najpopularniji sport u ovoj godini do sada karling. Pričam sa čovekom koji dolazi iz najpoznatije male najveće fabrike na svetu, ako tako mogu da kažem. Uspeo sam da dođem do Rikija Englisha iz jedine kompanije na svetu koja proizvodi kamenje za karling na svetskim prvenstvima i zimskim olimpijskim igrama, a tu se priča o tom sportu i o tom kamenju neverovatno. Kratak intervju s njim, naravno, zahvalnost Generaliju i ponovo sa nama Plazma. Nije slučajno što su oni opet ovde sa nama i baš u ovoj epizodi. Pokrenuli su kampanju Dodir ljubavi, a kada se govori o karlingu, tu je dodir jako bitan. O kamenju, o dodiru, o situaciji, kako se to kamenje vadi, proizvodi, šta će biti s njim, sa svim onim kamenjem koje stiže nazad s Olimpijskih igara, da li možete da kupite deo toga u razgovoru sa Rikijem Englishom. Hvala Generaliju, hvala Bambiju i Plazmi, ponovo smo zajedno sa njima. Hello Ricky, is it true that you are the smallest big company in the world right now? But I think that everybody is speaking about case of Scotland, so it seems that you are the, should I say and repeat, the smallest big company in the world right now.
Well, definitely. Obviously, we've only got 15 employees, so we're definitely one of the smallest. And then if you obviously think of the things that's happening online with curling and all that kind of thing from Team Canada to how big that kind of made the sport in a sense, kind of made it viral. So it's definitely is. So for us, it's been great.
Is it true that now many people are calling you for not only for producing the stones, but to get memorabilia? And is it true that you sold out everything from the Olympics?
So what's happened is, this is a first time ever happening. So we're going to be taking the stones back from Cortina from the Olympic Games. We're going to bring them back to the factory. That should start round about maybe April. Then we're going to start effectively coring them out, cutting them up and turning them into small bits of memorabilia. So you'll get a chance to own a small bit of Olympic history. Curling stone that's been played at the Olympic Games. You can own a small piece of that granite. So we put a small video out, which got about 10 million views. Then from there, we put the product live on the website, and it was sold out in, I think, about 15 hours.
And tell me, considering that now we have a good relationship, is there possibility that I can apply for some stone?
So just I'll give you like a wee insight just now. We've actually got, because we've only put out a short video, so it was only like a wee short. So the full video of that comes out tonight. So from that point at 6 p.m. GMT time, you'll be able to go in. We've got some reserve stock back there. We can go in and we're going to put that live too when the full video comes out. So from 6 o'clock tonight.
So from 6 o'clock tonight, we can apply for it?
From 6 o'clock tonight, you can pre-order. Yeah, you can pay for it through the website. Yep. So about 6 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, you can go on live, and there hopefully should be stock there. But the volume that we've been getting and the requests, I don't think it'll last long, to be honest.
Tell me, I read that every memorabilia will be connected to the exact stone from the Olympics through the number, right?
Yeah, so we can do that, but what we're going to do is, every stone will get like a letter of authenticity. So the letter of authenticity, just to prove that the stones have obviously been at the Olympics, they come back, and then we have went through the process of identifying that that's an Olympic stone, and it's come back. We'll send a letter of authenticity with that, along with the gift.
Did someone kept the stone from the Olympics? Is that allowed from, Olympic champions or someone?
We've not really got to that yet. We've kind of one of the thoughts that we were maybe thinking of, but we're kind of so focusing on making the giftware first. Then after we complete the giftware, because we kind of need to bring it back. It's a first. We do make giftware on a day-to-day basis from some of our reject cheeses, but it's the first time we've ever done something with the Olympic stones. So we then have to bring them back, carefully call them out. Then from that point, that's when the process starts. So the manufacturing. So it's quite going to be a long process. So but it's a first. So it's great.
Tell me about the company. You are the only company that supplies world championships and Winter Olympic Games with the stones for karling, right?
Yeah, so the company's been going on the go since 1851, 175 years old. And if you date back from the Olympic Games, the first Olympic Games where curling was involved in was 1924 in Chamonix. It was more like a demonstration sport back then, but Team Men's GB actually won the gold. We supplied the stones even to them. Then take it up to kind of modern day. You're looking at 1998 when the curling became a medal sport again, and Kays made the stones then. We actually used a Welsh Trevor because we couldn't get to the island. It was hard to get because the island's what you call a triple SI, and it's a special set of scientific interest. There's a lot of red tape beyond that trying to get over there for the birds and stuff. But we've managed to figure that out. So with 2 Olympics where we used a different granite, then from there, everything else has just been Aisla Craig when we managed to get through the red tape of planning, etc.
And tell me, how many employees do you have, especially the ones who are the craftsmen for the stones?
So we have about 15 employees. So we've got 2 people working the giftware. Then in the main factory, we've got about 10 people through there. Then the back end is what we call it as a polishing, where it's a bit where you see them doing the stones on the turntable. We've got about three guys through there. We've got one of our guys who's basically rubbed every stone since it became a medal sport in 2002. He's been here, so he's kind of done nearly every single Olympic Games, which is good experience to have. And we've got a couple more apprentices down there. So we've got 2 apprentices too.
Is it true that every set of stones has been done by the same person, just to the same stone in every set, or something like that? Am I right?
Yeah, so what you'll find is the stones will get manufactured, go through the back end process, then you obviously keep it when you're rubbing the running. You have to manually rub the running edge on it. So on like a piece of grit paper, we use like a 60 grit. So your running edge when we do it is effectively like a small micro thread. So it's similar to your car tyre or your bike wheel, small micro thread that we rub on that. And that basically helps the stone with the curl, so it'll kind of grip the pebbles on the ice. And that's what creates it to curl. But when we're doing like the Olympics and that, to get that consistency, said one person will just be like rubbing the sets. But the guys down there are all been taught by the same person, so the rubbing techniques are very similar.
So it seems from what are you saying that your company will not be affected by artificial intelligence, so that...
I had this conversation yesterday, definitely not. So I kind of see how AI can come in and go over Aisla Craig, bring granite back, cut it up, make a curling stone. So AI not quite yet, which is good.
Yeah. Tell me, can you feel the difference by knocking on the stone, by the sound that it produced? Can you hear which stone is different from the another? Is that something important?
No. So what you'll find is most stones won't sound any different from one another. The stones that we put out on a daily basis, whether it's going to the Olympics, whether it's going to World Championship, or whether it's just going to a club, whether it be Canada or China or Sweden or Denmark or Scotland, the same process is done for every single stone. The same quality checks is done for every single stone. The way manufacturing doesn't change whether we're making an Olympic stone or whether we're making a club stone. So at the very back end, we will quality control that and quality inspect that. We'll go through a rigorous quality control and making sure there's no sort of deformation, flaws within the granite. And if it's good enough, it goes through. If it's not good enough, we'll turn it into giftware. So there's rigorous controls. So everything's very, we work to a standard and we don't drop below that standard. So you'll hear a difference.
Yeah. And so you go to Aisla Craig, right? Aisla Craig in every few years, right? You don't go back and forth, right?
No. So what you do is, we'll obviously, it's like a 52-page planning document. You have to adhere to, then you have to obviously hire plant equipment, and you'll go out there with ecologists. You'll have rat traps in the island that you need to set. So it's been rat free since the 90s. We're only allowed to go out there in the winter when there's no birds. So we bring the granite back, say that we get 700 to 800 tonnes. That maybe lasts us about 5, 6, 7 years, just depending on the yield you get from the granite. So it's not just like an every year thing that you go over. You bring enough back in that period, and then we store it at one of our facilities that we've got down in Girvan, one of our storage places that we rented out. And then we just, from there, obviously monitor that stockpile and see where we are. And if we need to go back a wee bit earlier, we might need to go back a wee bit earlier.
Has the time changed, or should I say, did the MilanoCortina make the biggest difference in popularity of Case of Scotland in history? Because now everybody is speaking about the karling.
So I think if you look at what's happening with the karling, obviously there may be the controversy kind of round about it, which I don't think there was any malice towards that. I just think it maybe get a wee bit blown out of proportion. It's maybe more the reaction than anything else, but I can't see how that would really affect. It's no cheating, it's just like muscle memory. I just don't think they're not going to affect the direction of the stone or anything like that. But that's obviously just made it go skyrocket. Then for us to then be in line with bringing out the Olympic giftware along with the stones, it's obviously it's definitely helped. Then a short video that we put out was amazing too. So that's how it's just, we didn't expect this much trajectory, especially on the giftware. We're always steady making culling stones every year because we can only make so many, just for the limitations that we've got machine wise or whatever. But we're always steady orders, working through the orders. But with giftware, we've always been maybe kind of plateauing. So obviously when we get to the Olympics, we see a rise. But then even after the Olympics, it's just been like that now. So it's even higher. So that's definitely the good thing that's come out of this games.
So how many stones you can produce a day?
We can produce about 12 a day. So the target, we only work 4 days a week. So we work Monday to Thursday, 7 till 5. And we try and produce about 48 stones per week. That's the target. Sometimes we go over. And
tell me, who is, if it's okay for you to say, who is the person who called for the stone? Who is the most popular or famous person who asked for the stone?
And honestly, we've had that much the demand that I don't even know whose name they are yet. To be brutally honest, I honestly don't know. It's we've not kind of seen this much demand on a product before, so even the names I've probably not even been taking any notice of who's ordered and who's not ordered, to be brutally honest.
Tell me, how many interview requests have you gone through in the past weeks?
So the past, tons and tons and tons. We've had countless. I honestly couldn't even tell you the amount of people that have came to the factory, amount of people that we've done like maybe Zoom calls, and then some obscure things too. So it's been really, really busy. I didn't realise how busy it was going to be, but it's been hectic.
And do you think that many people will come to visit your factory? What about it?
Yeah, so we've been inundated. We're actually quite regularly. We get some tours, but just for talking to yesterday, we had 2 tours yesterday. Some Canadians come over, then there was a few other local ones. So, and then I've got a few more beyond that. So we do get a lot. The place it's full of history. We're actually on a conservation area, so it's part of like historical Scotland. We've got a building through there that dates back to the 17th century that's still getting used. We've been in this location since 1911, so it's definitely got its own wee kind of stories round about it. And in the small town, it's a small town effectively, Mauchline. and it's famous with, I don't know if you've ever heard of Robbie Burns, the poet. I don't know if you've ever heard him. You ever heard, we do Burns suppers and Burns nights, and so he's a big part of Auckland too, which brings people to this area.
And how old is the oldest stone that you have in the factory or with you?
Oh, probably the oldest stone in the factory. We've probably got a blue hone stone down there that's probably maybe over 100 years old. There's some ones that we see that you're not actually quite sure if it's actually granite or just a stone. Because people, when curling first got invented and say, like, I think it was 1540, people would maybe just go and get a big boulder and just try and carve it into like a said stone and throw it down like a frozen lock. That's how it came about. Then Scottish immigrants took it overseas for that point. So there'll definitely be a few stones like that kicking about somewhere. We always see some, and it's probably really hard to put a date on it, to be honest, because you're not sure if it even is granite.
And tell me, what are your plans for this year, and has anything changed this year so far because of the Olympics, and basically what you should do and what you can do in the forthcoming months, not to mention years?
Yeah, so our plan is obviously we'll be getting the stones back, hopefully in the next few weeks. Then our plan is sole focus will be on the giftware, getting that product to the customers, because we've obviously said we can start getting the first batches ready around about May. Then from there, continuing that on. Then again, and we just try and just get as much orders as we can in the big stones, because that's our bread and butter, getting the big stones done. And we have a few other things that we're trying to do. We're trying to do some planning along with Historical Scotland. We're trying to maybe have like a heritage centre on site. So we've got some old machines for kind of back in the day from like the 40s and the 50s that we've actually just started to get refurbished just for more like a visual. So when we do get tours, so there's loads of things happening, definitely. So it looks like a promising future.
Well, Ricky, thanks very much at the end. Tell me just one thing, because this year is the World Cup in football.
Scotland.
Yeah, for the Scotland, what do you expect for the Scotland at the World Cup?
We'll win it.
Okay. Thanks very much.
I'd love us to get out the group, but I think we'll probably get the best fixtures the way we could have landed it. Having Haiti first, which is that's who you would want first. We know Morocco's going to be a hard game. They've got quality players. Then Brazil and Miami. Does it get much better than playing Brazil in Miami? I don't think so, but we'll wait and see at that point. Hopefully we've still got a chance getting into that Brazil game to sneak through.
Well,
who's your local team? Are you a Red Star?
We didn't qualify. We have here Red Star and Partizan Belgrade, most famous. Yeah. And Scotland came here a few years ago and qualified through the penalties to the Euro, which was heartbreaking, let's say. But the guys were so polite, so nice, and we really appreciate Scottish people here. So you are welcomed. And hope to see you again here, and we will cheer for Scotland as well.
Well, I'll just cheer for Novak when he's doing the tennis, and we'll keep it fair.
Thanks a lot. All the best, and good luck and congratulations with everything, Ricky.
Thank you very much, and as I said, 6 p.m. tonight, try and get there.
Thanks, Ricky.
Thank you.
Videli ste razgovor sa Rickyjem Englishom o kamenju sa zimskih olimpijskih igara, gde je dodir jako bitan. Kompanija Bambi i Plazma pokrenuli su sada kampanju Dodir ljubavi, a dodir je bio bitan i za svetsko prvenstvo i za olimpijske igre kada je reč o karlingu, ali i za plazmu, jer podsjeća na neke stvari koje smo prvi put kao deca dodirnuli, kao što je keks. Tako da neka paralela između ovog sporta koji je jako popularan u ovoj godini i plazme. Zahvalnost Generaliju i plazmi. Do sledeće prilike, pozdrav.